Having a little technical issue there, but I think we're good now. So, hey everybody, it's Deborah Porter. I'm with Mom's Mentoring Circle, and you know that I'm here to support you with creating the atmosphere you want in the life that you love. And with a few systems, we can make that happen. So, I'm happy to be here because I miss y'all, and this is kind of one of my highlights of my week, kind of popping on here and connecting with some folks. So, thanks so much for joining. I want to share today, and I want to start talking today and have you guys share some of your wins. I want us to start being able to count our wins. I think that as moms that we are very good at finding the things that we maybe are not nailing or hitting on the head. But I think that comes a time where it's important to be able to count your wins. Listen, I just want to check real quick to make sure that we're actually live and online and that I'm not having any issues. Hey, Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie's here, so I know that I'm online. I'm good. I'm live. Stephanie, how are you? I want to talk about counting our wins today. So, Stephanie, put in the comments, just as we're sharing today, share a win. What's been a good win this week, last week? What's something that really went well, that you're really happy about, proud about for yourself? Share that as we're talking. So we're going to talk about counting our wins today, why that's important. Doesn't matter whether they're micro or macro wins, major or minor. They all provide a sense of accomplishment for us. They also, just in acknowledging a win and celebrating that win, really can put us in a better headspace and really in a better mood for the day. So pop in the comments, share a win while you're here with us today. And I want to share kind of a quick win that I had yesterday. I put up some pictures from a walk Cliff and I took on my personal page. And normally we live not far from the river. So we'll walk along the river. That's kind of the route that I like because it's shorter. It's about 2.5 to 3 miles. Cliff walks like 5 or 6 miles. So yesterday I decided to do his whole walk with him. And it was fantastic. Like, I saw parts of the city that we live in that I've never seen before because I'm usually driving through those areas. I'm not walking. And so there was a couple of wins. So I got to spend time with Cliff. I got some good exercise in, 5 miles. I got to experience a part of the city that I've never seen before. But here's the big win. So there's this tunnel that used to be like an old train tunnel that was built by enslaved and freed African Americans back like in the 1800s. I think it was like 1820 or something. So we walk through this tunnel because it's for pedestrians now. We get to the other side of the tunnel. There's a Safeway there, the grocery store. And I knew I was gonna have to go to the grocery store yesterday, trying to figure all that out. Go in the store, they had exactly what I needed. I had my mask, had my gloves, so I was good to go. So it's a small win, right? It wasn't huge, but it set me up I was in a good mood. You know, I had gotten some exercise, walked with my husband, spent some time talking and connecting, got to the grocery store. So I'm back home by like 10:30 and all of that is already accomplished. So count the small wins, the big ones and the small ones. And I think when things like slow down some, we get to kind of appreciate some of the things that aren't maybe major, but are equally important to being celebrated. So why do we count our wins? Why is that important? Why should we? Why do we? Why? I'm sorry, I was looking for comments, but I don't see any. Y'all share your wins, just one or two wins that we can count and kind of clap and celebrate with you for. But the purpose, one of the reasons we celebrate our wins is because there's power in it. There's power even in a small win. It shows progress, it shows decisiveness, it shows accomplishment. So big or small, those wins are important. And if we're always focused, this was me. If we're always focused on the next thing that has to be done, right? If we're always just checking through the list, that was me. Do one thing, check, next thing, what's next? You can get depleted and you can deplete the people around you. It just becomes too much. One of my kids used to always say, Mom, it's not that serious. And in retrospect, he was probably right. But at the time, it seemed super important. I see a couple people on here, but I don't see any comments. I don't know if that's a Facebook issue or what, but I hope y'all are putting in the comments your wins. Just share one or two so that we can celebrate with you. But I was one of those people that I was always on to the next task, the next thing that had to be done, as opposed to really sitting in the moment and enjoying the completion or counting the current win that I just experienced. So recording those wins can help with that. If you are the type that kind of just moves on to the next thing, which was me, recording those wins can be a great way to do that. And a great way, there's no better way to record your own wins than journaling. I was not a huge proponent of journaling for many years. For me, it just seemed like one more thing I had to do. And so I kind of eased into journaling, and I'll be honest, I'm not super consistent with it. It's kind of been an off and on again kind of relationship for me, but I've been sticking with it a lot since, more recently in the past several weeks. So here's what I've learned about journaling. It gives me a space and a place to do and say whatever I need to do and say, to cry out, to rejoice, to celebrate myself, to share openly without any judgment at all, to be able to look back as I look at old journals at how, the patterns in my life. I think that we all have patterns and habits, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in how we talk to ourselves, kind of the things that go on in our own head, the way that God moves in our lives. Cliff and I realized many years ago that with our relationship with each other and with God, he speaks to us a certain way. And it's been like that over the years. And so keeping journals allows you to go back in time. I've been reading some of my old journals and kind of where I was, what I was dealing with, and then what God did with those situations, after I had the opportunity to pour out my heart to him. So journaling for me, has really become a way for me to express myself unashamedly and without judgment. And so for me, it was an easing into it. I was looking at some of my old journals. One journal I had on the page, the date, I think I put the scripture I read, and then I wrote, Lord help. Close journal. That was it for the day. That's all I could muster up for that day. So it's not always about it being these long, eloquent writings. It's really just a pouring out of what's on your heart in that moment and being able to get it from here onto paper. Because sometimes it's those thoughts that remain here, the negative ones, that we just let roam and roam and roam, and we feed ourselves that all day. So here's the thing. Journaling it's a habit. It's a new habit that you can form if you choose to. And so I want to help a couple of moms. I'm going to do this in the Facebook group. So when we finish here, if you pop over to the group, you'll be eligible. But I have 2 journals that I want to give away. I want to give these journals to 2 moms in the Facebook group, Moms in Q for Quarantine. One is Michelle Obama's journal, Becoming. I love Michelle Obama. I love Michelle Obama. I do. But if you read her book, Becoming, or I'm sure you've heard of her book, Becoming, this is a kind of a guided journal that goes along with that book. This one is the Morning Sidekick Journal. I know the words are maybe backwards. I'm not sure. But this is a great journal if you're also looking for new morning habits and systems and routines, which I'm a big fan of. So this is one that I love as well. But I'm going to give these 2 journals away for Mother's Day to 2 moms in our Facebook group. And I'll be in that group on Friday to share and to talk a little bit more about the giveaway, about the journals, and about journaling specifically. So if you're interested in that, either for yourself for Mother's Day, make sure you come into our group, Moms in Quarantine. But, I brought those out. And I don't have any kind of affiliate relationship with either of these journals, but I brought those out to show you that there are different ways to journal, right? You can take, this is one of my old journals. You can take this, just plain pages, and just begin writing. But for some people, that's intimidating. It's like, what am I supposed to be saying? What am I supposed to be writing? But these journals that I'm going to give away in the group for Mother's Day all have prompts. They have prompts and ways to get you started. They also have blank pages if you don't need the prompts. So these are really good. I really love them. But I do want you to think about adopting this new habit of journaling and expressing yourself. I have friends that journal on their phone. They use the notes section on their phone, and they literally will journal right in their phone. And so it's with them all the time. So they don't have to worry about where's my journal, where did I put it. I keep mine generally by my bedside or inside the ottoman. We have a storage ottoman in the living room. And that helps at night when it's by my bedside, because I'm one of those people that to settle down, I need to get what's here out, because my mind kind of keep going, you got to do this, you need to do, what about this? You didn't really handle that. Oh my gosh, you left that. So for me, getting it out really helps me to kind of settle down for the evening and be able to go to sleep. The other thing I would love to encourage you to do is to encourage your kids to journal. Encourage them to journal. So me and one of mine, when he was younger, we had a journal that we shared, and it was how we communicated to each other. And so he'd write in it and then leave it by my bedside. And I knew that he wrote something he wanted me to see. And then I would write in it and I would leave it by his bedside. So there are so many different ways to engage with journaling, to introduce and invite your kids into that space as well. But it's great. So last couple of things I want to share. I'm talking about systems and schedules and getting things in order. That's generally what I spend a lot of my time talking about, and how I help support the moms that I work with as well. But there's another thing that I want us to really be able to identify, and that is counting your wins. Counting your wins is a form of self-care. It's a form of self-care because it's a way for you to remind yourself of the things that you've done and that you've accomplished and that you've gotten right. And as moms, we tend to be the cheerleader for everybody. We are everybody's cheerleader. Y'all, I'm logging onto my computer because I can't see who's joining. I can't see if there are any comments. And so I just want to be able to respond to those if there are any. But anyway, back to counting your wins for you. Because many of the things that moms do as a win is done almost in secret or without eyes. No one sees most of the things that we're doing. Now, we as parents see our kids' wins all the time, and we're cheering for them all the time. We're celebrating them all the time. But here's the thing. Who's celebrating and cheering you on and your wins? And that's where your journaling comes in, because it gives you an opportunity. Because if it goes unnoticed, it's almost like it didn't happen. But it did happen. And it needs to be recognized, and it needs to be, I don't want to say rewarded, but definitely acknowledged. Okay, so that's another reason why journaling is a great tool. It's a great way to do it. It's a great way to not miss those moments that can bring us and put us in a better headspace for the day. Okay, so we can miss the wins, and many times we only focus on the misses. But in reality, there's a win every single day. There's a win every single day. But the thing is, are you noticing it? Are you making mention of it, even to yourself and for yourself? What are you doing with your wins? What are you doing with them? How are you reminding yourself of them? How are you remembering that they even occurred? And it's important. It's important. So as we're moving through, day after day, some of the days are getting blurred and they're all kind of running in together. Think about allowing journaling to set each day aside and making it unique and making it memorable and making it different. Oh, here are some comments. I don't know why I'm not seeing them on my phone. Okay, Stephanie says, oh, I love that gold board. Oh, thank you. I think I got that from, I don't remember. Crate and Barrel? I think it was Crate and Barrel. Stephanie, good, Deb, how are you? Stephanie says, let's see a win. I made Charles and my extra daughter's birthday special. I love decorating, so I got to do something I personally enjoy. Love that. Hey, Valerie. Valerie says, hashtag record the wins. Valerie also says, journals show how much you've grown. Indeed, they do. Pour it out. Yes, yes, yes. Valerie says, oh, that's so sweet. Counting your wins is a form of self-care. Absolutely. And, Valerie, so Valerie's kind of here in conversation with us. Valerie is a book coach. And I would wonder how many people have been able to take their journals and the things that they've recorded And then at the moment that they know is right, take that journal and transform it into an actual book. You know, I guess what I'm saying is you just don't know. You just don't know. So don't cut things off or not be open to doing something new or different or creating a new habit because you've not done it before. I did that with journaling for a long time. I was just like, that's not really my thing. I'm not really interested in that. I'm telling you, looking back on some of my old journals right now has just caused me to break out in praise repeatedly over the past few weeks, just seeing the things that God has done, the prayers that have been answered, the growth that has happened, the clarity that has come. So I'm kind of beating this thing, y'all, because I'm really serious about it. I'm really serious about it. So here are a few things. Here's a list of a few things that we tend to overlook or brush past and not count as a win. Valerie says, absolutely, your life experiences can help someone else. Yep, there's an amen right there. So here are some things we kind of brush past sometimes and don't even give real recognition to. If you exercised at all today, at all. So I took a really short walk today earlier. But for me, if I'm not exercising outside, like walking, you know, couple of houses we've lived in, we've had like exercise rooms in the basement. Well, I don't really go to the basement often. And so that was just a room down there. I mean, you know, Cliff would go down there and obviously I could have disciplined myself to do that. But what I've done, I'm going to take my phone off of this stand for a minute and just show you guys. So I'm in my office right now, but what I've done is I have my rower here in my office with a medicine ball and some resistant bands, because this is my choice of how I choose to exercise. I love the rower. I love a medicine ball and a few resistant bands, and I can get a full body workout and some cardio in not a whole lot of time. And so for me, it's about, if I'm going to exercise, I need to have the things that I'm going to use to exercise visible. They can't be downstairs in the basement, in the corner, in a room. No, they need to be in a space that I'm going to be in. So, I mean, this wouldn't work for everybody. Everybody doesn't want their exercise equipment in their office. For me, this is perfect. It works out perfectly because before calls, in between calls, however I want to do that, it's right here. If I've got 15 minutes, I can pop on that rower for 15 minutes. I can do something with the medicine ball. So for me, this works, but find what works for you. If exercising is important, if it's a habit that you're choosing to be deliberate about, where do your exercise things need to be for you to engage with that and do that on a regular basis? Something else that we do that we try to brush over and don't spend a lot of time celebrating is when we complete something. Completion of a task, completion of a project, something we're working on for work, something at the house, something personally, a goal or decision you've made personally that you've actually now seen come to fruition. Yes, set another goal. Yes, do something else, but don't push by that like it wasn't worth a win or worth a atta girl, right? It's important to acknowledge those things. And I'm telling you, journaling is a way to do it. Valerie says, find what works for you. Absolutely. Find what works for you. And as you're coming on, please share a win. We're talking today about counting our wins and why that's important and different ways to do that. So today, I would love to celebrate you and cheer you on in one of your wins. Please just share in the comments, just one win from today, yesterday, last week, and what I'm offering and what I'm going to be giving away in our Facebook group of Moms in Quarantine. If you're not already in that group, please join over there because that's where this giveaway is going to take place. 2 moms are going to each get a journal. This one is, I love Michelle Obama. I don't want to cover her face up. One is Michelle Obama's Becoming Journal, which is kind of connected to her book, Becoming. It's great because it's a guided journal, which means it gives you prompts. So if the idea of turning to an empty page in a journal or notebook kind of intimidates you, like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to write? What am I supposed to do? Each of these have some type of guided process or prompt, is probably better said, a prompt to get you going. This is called the Morning Sidekick Journal. I love this one because it also helps you to get your morning systems and routines in place. So These are going to be given away in our Facebook group. I'll be in there on Friday talking about what that's going to look like. Okay, so we're talking about things that we accomplish and do that we tend to overlook. Exercise is one, completion of a task, connecting with our kids. You know, just a few minutes of your undivided attention with your child goes a long way. And what can happen as a result of that is you create the new habit of it. So it's something that you look forward to. It's something that you make sure occurs and happens. And ultimately, it leads itself into a great relationship with our children at every stage of life that they're in. If you said no to something lately, look, y'all know how I feel about the word no. Look, I'm going to show y'all this too. This is in my office too. I don't know if it's going to show up reverse or not. No is a complete sentence. Y'all know how I already feel about being able to say no without excuse, without explanation, without an apology. I'm not able to do that. That's it. I'm not able to do that. Not, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wish I could. You don't have to do all that. So it's a gift. Being able to say no to things that you know are going to be more taxing on you than you have the capacity. It doesn't make you like this great person that's now going to sacrifice. No, if you can't do it, if it's going to be more taxing, you can't do it. And it's really okay. It's really okay. And so the last point I really want to make, as we're talking about counting our wins and journaling, really is gratefulness. Because at the end of the day, that is the thing that causes us to be able to not be overwhelmed or overtaken with sadness or sorrow or disappointments in life. There is something to be grateful for, even in every situation that presents itself first as a loss. In every loss, there is still something to be grateful for. And journaling is a great way. It's a great way to express your gratefulness, even in the midst of loss. You know, I've mentioned a couple weeks ago, we lost a dear person in our family. She was like a second mom to me growing up. She was 86. And so losing her was very difficult right now. But how amazing. She was here for 86 years, living completely independently on her own, helping and taking care of other people, visiting nursing homes and ministering to people. So in every loss, there's still something to be grateful for. So if you haven't already, today we're talking about counting our wins. Please put in the comments a win. I want to celebrate with you. I want to cheer you on. I want to give you a big atta girl for something you've accomplished. Stephanie says that her win, she made Charles and her extra daughter's birthdays special. She loves decorating, so she got to do something that she personally enjoys. Stephanie, I think that is fantastic. Feel free to put up a picture of the decorations. I don't know if it was just the cake, but I know you. I know it wasn't just the cake. I know it was the house, and I know it was the entryway, and I know it was the dining room, and I know it was amazing. So share a picture of what that looked like, and I know how much that blessed your family. Valerie, share a win, sis. Share a win. I know you've got a lot of great things going on. And yes, wins, Valerie mentioned and kind of put in the comments here, counting your wins is a form of self-care. It absolutely is a form of self-care. Valerie also puts up, wow, in every loss, there's still something to be grateful for, in every loss. And so I want us to be, I'm kind of wrapping it up now, but I want us to be mindful that yes, there are moments and times and things that we will need to apologize for. And we have to be able to step into that space and apologize. But we also need to live our lives unapologetically for choices and decisions that we've made. So yes, things may not be as crisp and as clean and as perfect in the house right now. That's okay. You don't have to apologize for that. Okay, your kids may have too much screen time going on right now. Okay. You don't have to apologize for that either. So there are times we need to be willing to apologize, but we need to be able to live our lives unapologetically. And it's a new habit. It's a new habit we've got to form. And so what I would like to offer to anybody, I know I've got these 2 journals that I've mentioned that I'm giving away to 2 moms in our Facebook group for Mother's Day, this Morning Sidekick and Michelle Obama's Becoming. You need to be in the group to be considered for that. But I'm offering really here today for everybody, anybody that's watching today or anybody that you know that might be interested or want this. I have an ebook that I've been kind of giving out to some people. It's free. It's 7 Habits of Confident Moms. And so we're talking about creating some new habits of journaling, some new habits of expressing gratefulness, some new habits of being able to count our wins and really sit in the moment. If you want this ebook, 7 Habits of Confident Moms, just give me your email address and I'll send it directly to your inbox. You can put it here, or you can DM it to me, which might be better if you don't want your email address here on this page like that. Just send me a quick message of what your email address is, or if you know someone, if you know of a mom who would benefit from having this ebook about 7 habits of confident moms, and it's going to help us to shift and maybe adopt some new habits, maybe to identify where we are and then set the goal for where we want to be. Just give me an email address and I will send out this ebook, 7 Habits of Confident Moms, to whoever gives me an email address. And then just as a reminder, join our Facebook group, Moms in Q. Q is for quarantine. And later this week, I'm going to be in there talking about how you can set yourself up to maybe be one of the 2 moms that will each get one of these journals for Mother's Day. I'm just going to pop them in the mail and send them to you. So you guys, this has been great. This is one of the highlights of my week. I'm going to go back and read the comments. I'm going to go back and read through, and I want to celebrate with you. Please, today we've talked about being able to count your wins. Many times we discount our wins because we got to get on to the next thing that needs to be done. Don't do that. Your wins deserve to be counted. And so put up a win in the comments because I want to celebrate with you. I want to give you a big atta girl on a win. And I want you to develop the new habit of celebrating your wins. And again, journaling is a great way to help with that. So look forward to talking with you guys again. If you want to be considered for this journal, or if you just want to pop into the Moms in Quarantine group, there's a lot of resources in there for things to do. In fact, I'm about to add some resources. My sister just sent me a link for something that I think the moms would love. So I'm going to add a link this afternoon over there for some new resources specifically for moms that I think will help everybody to stay in shape a little and have some fun at the same time. So you guys have a great day, and I will be back and talk with you soon. Bye.